Today's video is sponsored by Trading212, where you can invest in real stocks and ETFs for free. And with a special promo code, you can get a free share worth up to 100 Great British Pounds. Hi guys, it's ASBYT and welcome back to a brand new video. Now it's been over 4 years since Motorola released the Moto 360 version 2, so you would be well within your rights to assume that a third generation wasn't to be. But it's time to rethink that, because I've managed to get my hands on a pre-production unit of said third generation. I've been using it on and off for the last couple of days, and it's time to give you my first impressions review. Why did it take them 4 years to create an updated version? What are the specs? What have they got right? What could they improve on a possible fourth generation? I wouldn't want to wait 4 years until that one though. And of course, importantly, when can you get your hands on it and how much is it going to cost you? So without further ado, it's time. Let's get straight to it. Before we continue, a quick word from our video sponsor. Trading212 is a great way to own an actual share of your favorite company. In the app, you'll find the stocks of Microsoft, Apple, Netflix, Nike, Tesla, and many, many more. Trading212 democratizes the financial markets by letting anyone invest in thousands of real stocks and ETFs totally free. All you have to do is simply download the app, open an account in about 3 minutes and start investing without paying any fees or commissions whatsoever. Sign up and use the code ASBYT to get your filthy mitts on a free share worth up to £100. Right, so the first thing to mention is this is a pre-production unit. So this isn't final software, for example, but it will give you a rough idea. And the actual retail unit that you can get your hands on will be starting to ship from December. So as a result, a couple of issues I've had software-wise with the device, which I'll get to shortly, will hopefully be ironed out before release. So why should you get excited about the third generation? Well, quite simply, the first and second gens of the Moto 360 were so well received that many considered them to be the finest smartwatches available on the market at the time. So why did they disappear and why are they back? While a lot of it is unclear, what we do know is Motorola are back, but this time they've partnered with a company called eBuyNow eCommerce Limited, a strategic brand partner of Motorola who look to identify precise gaps in the consumer electronics industry and then proceed to build, market and distribute promising consumer electronics as a result. So let's talk design with version 3, and in large, the truth is, not a lot has changed from version 2, but that's by no means a bad thing. Version 2 was a very sexy watch. If you can say a watch is sexy? I don't know. A very clean, classic and minimalistic stainless steel round casing, leather strap, and all in all, it looks and feels very premium indeed. And as I've stated on many smartwatch reviews, it's the kind of design that I really crave in a smartwatch. I prefer the more classic, refined, dressy looking smartwatches as opposed to square watches like the Apple Series 5 and the more sportier looking ones as well. You have two buttons on the right hand side. One of them has a rotating crown and the other one is mappable to your individual needs, which I personally think is a really good feature. I've currently got it set to go to reminders, but again, you may differ. We have a 1.2-inch OLED display, and this opens up the possibility for one standout feature, which we will get into in more detail in just a second. Underneath, we have a section for charging, and as expected, it is easy enough to do so. It just simply snaps on. It only takes 1 hour to charge, which in this fast-paced world that we live in, I think is another great feature. The battery is 355 mAh, and it's running with the latest Qualcomm 3100 chip, which is Qualcomm's chip for wearables. We've got 1 GB of RAM, 8 GB of storage, and NFC for Android Pay, which you can add as a shortcut to your watch face, one choice amongst many that you can actually select from. And it's running Google's Android Wear OS, with your key settings are swiped down from the top away, notifications to all of your major apps are swiped up from the bottom away, and access to fitness info, weather, Google Voice Assistant, Google Pay, and the Google Play Store for anything else, all in touching distance. The Wear OS on the Moto 360 runs smoothly and relatively glitch-free, with more flexibility than the walled gardens of offerings from Huawei and Xiaomi, for example. Talking of glitches, etc., I did have a couple of problems with connectivity when first pairing the watch to my phone, and I've had a bit of a problem setting up Google Pay on the watch, but I think that's actually more of a problem to do currently with Google Pay on my phone than it is on the watch, but certainly I'll keep you updated on that. And remember, this is running with pre-production software, so I would imagine we will see updates, etc. to this to iron out some of those issues that may arise. So one key feature that is different is the fact that we no longer have the unpopular flat tire on the watch face that previous generations had. This of course was used to house sensors, etc., but it was a bit of a plague and almost like the smartphone notch equivalent on a smartwatch. So they've managed to get rid of the flat tire, but unfortunately it seems instead we now have a ring all the way around the outside of the face. The symmetry is of course better as a result than the flat tire, and I do prefer it, but you do lose screen real estate and it makes the watch look a little on the small side. If you're using a black watch face, it kind of blends in and I don't really notice it too much. But certainly if you are someone who wants to use a coloured watch face, it might be something that possibly may be a deal breaker for you. The display also has the much hyped always on OLED display. This technology sent Apple fans absolutely wild on the Series 5 of the Apple Watch, and to be honest, it does a really good job here on the Moto 360 as well. It can be rather draining on the battery, but again, as I mentioned, if you decide to use a black watch face due to the OLED technology, the pixels can actually shut off when the image is black, and therefore it will be far less draining on the battery than if it was a coloured face. And to be honest, I would probably want to use a black watch face anyway, because I think that combined with the stainless steel casing and the brown leather strap, I just think it looks rather delightful. It does come, speaking of colours, in two other variants. We have rose gold and we have phantom black. It will be interesting to get my hands on those as well to see the differences and to see which one I and you, is that good grammar? Whatever, would prefer. As well as the leather straps, you can also get silicone straps if you prefer the sportier look. And of course, due to the fastening design of these straps, a whole host of third-party straps will be available and compatible as well. So there's no denying that this Moto 360 third generation, the third edition, the version 3, will be one of the best smartwatches available from the end of 2019 and early 2020. But here is the crux. How much will it set you back? I've been told that it will ship from around 350 USD, probably similar when converted in the UK as well, which I think is a little bit steep. It's the sort of high pricing that Apple have been criticised for in the past, but the difference is they've been out of the game for about 4 years now, and there are many other manufacturers who have created and will be creating Android Wear OS smartwatches to compete. And I'm not sure that the average Android consumer would be quite as forgiving of the hefty price tag that perhaps an Apple fan using an iPhone, using an iMac, Apple Watch would be. The price and the average, let's say, battery life might be deal breakers for some people. But of course, let me know what you think of the Moto 360 version 3 or third generation. Worth the money? Are you going to go out and get it? Are you looking for a brand new smartwatch, and is this in the frame, or have you got your eyes on another watch altogether? Let me know. As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you enjoyed this video and or found it helpful, then make sure you drop a like below. That really helps, apparently. Subscribe and hit the notification bell if you're new to the channel and want to be notified every time I post a video on anything tech, pretty much daily content here on YouTube. I love you and leave you. I'll see you in the next one. So let's go to peace out.